Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Equip Show with Jessica Marino. We are here highlighting nonprofits and all the amazing work that they are doing in our community. Today I have with us Pete Walls, the founder of Play It Forward. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to learn what it is you guys do. I heard a little bit before we got started, and I'm very excited. So we'll just dive right in. First things first, give us your mission real quick. Tell us what did you guys do?
Sure. So Play It Forward is a youth sports nonprofit, and there's a few different pieces to it. So it's really twofold. So one is the part of the program that focuses on our young athletes, our young campers, and it's an intro to sports. So our main focus is really on having our young athletes really enjoy their first exposure to sports. So the way that we set up the program, it's a multi-sport camp. So when the campers come to our camp, they're going to get a chance to try out volleyball, soccer, basketball. We do some fun stations and activities. We have an obstacle course and other movement type stations just to get them moving and running and trying different kind of actions and get them running around and get that energy out. So that's one piece, is just having, for us with the younger kids, part of the thought process behind it is at a young age, it's hard to focus on, for example, soccer for an hour when you're 3, 4, 5 years old, or any sport. So for us, we give them a chance to try sports. So they can try soccer for 15 minutes, and the way we do it, it's all station based. And they'll practice a skill like dribbling, and then we turn it into a fun game. So it's practice the skill and then play a fun game that incorporates the skill. So really trying to have a really fun experience trying the different sports. We're pretty intentional about the pace of the program, where in an hour or 2 hours they are trying several different activities, to the point where it's 15 minutes and they're on to the next activity and trying the next sport or running the obstacle course. So
it's probably perfect for them.
It's great for them because they have fun, and then they get to go to try another sport or activity, and they really don't have time to get bored with any of it because it's just pretty fast paced.
Yeah, and you had shared with me that when you say younger, they're younger.
Yeah, predominantly our main age groups are pre-K to second grade, so mostly around 3 to 7, 3 to 8 years old. For a lot of our kids, it's their early or first times trying out some sort of organized sports. So for us, the biggest thing is the experience. So we're pretty open to the point where we're not trying to develop these great athletes as 3, 4, 5, 6 year olds. That's not the intent of our program by any means. I think our goal is really about that fun experience. I think it's a win for us if the kids want to come back the next day, where they get excited and have fun. And we do see it. We see it where we had summer camp last week, and on day one, especially with our kids being young, and it's definitely some of their earlier times going to camps, they can be nervous. So we do see a lot of kids who come in and they're shy and nervous about participating, and a lot of them are holding their parents' hands and not really a little reluctant to get going.
Don't let go of me.
Yeah, so we always see that. That is very typical for our kids on day one. It doesn't take long for them to warm up. By days 2, 3, 4, they are running out and playing. And I guess that's kind of a good segue into the second component of our program, and of the Play It Forward program, and that is that all of our coaches are local high school athletes. So the high school athletes are the coaches across all of our stations. I'll just talk real quick. This is one of my favorite parts of camp. So when I talk about the young kids coming in and being a little hesitant to get going and start to participate, we always have 15 to 20 minutes before we actually start of just free play. And for our free play time, it is just a chance for them to get on the court and play soccer, basketball, volleyball, run the obstacle course with the high school athletes. So it's just, there's no structure behind it. It's just kids being kids. Yeah. Because our high school kids are still kids.
Right. Just bonding time.
And it's just really a good chance for the young kids to get comfortable in a camp setting without getting straight into some, to kind of organize structure and going to their station. So that part is always fun, because last week we saw it with the little kids, with our campers not ready to really go out there and run around, and by days 2, 3, and 4, they would get in and run out and start playing immediately. And that tends to be how it works. So it's
awesome.
It's nice that they do have, they get excited to come back the next day.
Absolutely. So these high school students that are teaching, do they come in a little hesitant at all?
I don't think they're hesitant. I think by nature, high school kids, and I will say this, our high school kids have to be, they have to be recommended. So we try to make sure that we get high school kids who, whether they're recommended by an athletic director or coach, a teacher, we want to make sure we have the right high school athletes, and 99% of them are great coaching with the young kids, coaching the young kids. I don't think they're hesitant to start. I do think that they get better as they go, like anything though. So I think, and we see it. So this is year 4 for us, and in 4 years we've had somewhere in the range of 150 to 160 high school athletes coaching the program.
Wow. Okay.
And what we see, just like with anything else, is you get better the more you do it.
Absolutely.
So what I try to do when we have new coaches, and we do, we have a training for them, but sometimes you have to just do it to learn it.
That's how I am.
Yeah. So what I do a lot of times is with the coaches, the high school athletes with the coaches, is we'll pair up a coach who's done it for a few years with a new coach, just so they can kind of learn how the program runs. That said, I think that generally speaking, it does not take long for the high school athletes to get comfortable coaching in the program. It's a lot of it's because of the way what our intent is. Like I said, it's about having fun. Yeah. So a lot of what they do is really play.
It's just fun. Yeah.
Like they play with our campers. They're playing the games. Like when I mentioned soccer, and they practice dribbling and then they play a dribbling game. It's not just the campers playing. Like the high school athletes who are coaching, the coaches, they play with the kids, so they have fun participating as well. Yeah.
That's very cute. So you said 4 years now. So what kind of came to you when you were like, I need to start this nonprofit?
So I'd had the thought for a while. So I'd mentioned to you that, I'm from Massachusetts. My wife's from Omaha, and we moved from Boston to Omaha 13 years ago. And my background in Massachusetts, I had coached high school basketball there for a number of years, and worked in youth camps, and helped one organization start. They started, this is in 2010 or 11, started flag football leagues, which now are extremely popular, but 15 years ago were newer. And throughout my life, playing sports in college, after, working with camps, I've always seen that really kind of special dynamic of high school athletes coaching, being a role model for the younger kids. And so I guess getting back to Massachusetts, one of the flag football leagues that I started there, we were intentional in having the high school athletes coach the younger kids. So the league ran with high school athletes coaching and refereeing with support from adults, but the high school athletes were really hands-on with all that. And they had a blast with it. They had a ton of fun. And the young kids playing in the league had a ton of fun just, being with the high school athletes. So I think I'd seen it, and I started the program with 2 other high school basketball coaches here in Omaha. So Kyle Jurgens, who's the head basketball coach at Scott Catholic High School, and then Will Pope, who coached with us. I coached with Kyle at Scott, and then Will Pope, who coached with us. He's now the head basketball coach at Papio. So I started it with those guys, and we all had this common thought of 2 things. What can we do to make Intro to Sports really fun and give kids a chance to play multiple sports, because we're all big proponents of multi-sport athletes, and we really want kids to try a number of sports. That was one piece to it.
You never know if you don't try.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And the other piece was we always saw that high school athletes can be a great voice in kind of role model for younger kids, and a lot of young kids they're coached by adults. Their parents are adults, their teachers are adults, so it gives them a new voice to hear from, more of a peer, and I know they're older, but the high school athletes, like I said, they're still kids.
Absolutely.
So they get to hear from somebody who's not really an adult.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and I imagine there's got to be some growth opportunities on both sides, right? Yes.
So we've always said that you could easily say that the benefit for the high school kids is as equal to what, the young kids get out of it by learning from them. To be able to be put in that position where you get to coach and be a leader and a role model is really important. So Absolutely. They get a chance to do that in a really fun environment. It's very, it's very low pressure. It's just kind of just come and have fun and engage. And then I guess I will mention the last piece of the program that we always have, and we always have Be Kind time. So part of that is we love sports, and there's a lot of great things that come from sports. And we just saw an opportunity to really dive into the leadership experience for the high school kids. And part of that is having them deliver positive messaging. So at all of our camps, we have a period where they sit down in groups and we give them a topic, and the high school kids have some questions, and they tell stories around certain kind of values and topics. So, for example, what does it mean to be a good teammate is one of them. And, when we say that for 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, what does it mean to be a good teammate is no different than, like, what does it mean to be a good friend? Right. So at that age, it's very similar. So they talk about what does it mean to be a good friend or teammate. We talk about the importance of including others. So, like, very probably messages they hear from parents and teachers. Like, if you see a classmate who doesn't have somebody to play with at recess, what should you do? It's messages I think they've heard. I just think it's cool that it's coming from a new voice. Absolutely. So it's the high school athletes delivering that positive messaging, and we just put kind of a sports kind of bow on it. So it's there you go. Kind of positive values, but it's but through the sports lens.
Well, sportsmanship, right, is such a valuable piece of playing a sport. And I have younger brothers, and they've been playing youth sports, and to see the growth in their sportsmanship and the way they treat others has been exponential. And I love that piece of sports. I'm not very athletic, but I do love that piece.
and that's huge for us. We're all about high fives and play, like, let's do it again. Like, you played a game, and win or lose, like, you get to play again. We're going to keep playing. Yeah. So, like, if you win or lose, either way, it's not the end of the world. Our thing is, like, have as much fun and try hard and be a great teammate, and then we'll play another. Then you're playing another sport, so it just keeps going.
That's awesome. So 4 years in, where are you on your big vision?
So I would say in the first couple of years, we wanted to make sure that we want to make sure the program worked, because it is a little unique in the way we run it. With it being really, it's really kids coaching kids. That's our big thing, is we want the high school kids engaged in coaching the young kids. So for the first couple of years and early on, we weren't necessarily sure that high school athletes were going to have enough time, because they're so busy.
That's fair.
So, high school athletes, they have their schoolwork, they have all their athletics, they have their busy lives. So that was one piece, is do high school kids have time in their schedule to do this? And we found that they do. Good. Our high school athletes are, like I mentioned, they're great and they really enjoy it. So that piece we figured out early on in the first couple of years. I have stories where high school athletes like they want to work, and they might not know if they can work because they might have a game on a Saturday if we have a Saturday camp. And if their game is later in the afternoon, they'll send me a message and say, "Hey, my game's not till 4. Can I come work camp today?" So they are going out of their way to they like to come work with the kids. I do think that high school athletes, they get kind of it's a positive feeling when they're done. So I think there's that piece to it where they get to go play and be a kid, and you don't have to worry about any of those other things I mentioned, whether it's academics, their sports. They get to, for an hour, just be a kid and coach little kids. And I do think that kind of giving back and playing that role of role model and leader does give them a chance to feel good about giving back to the community.
Absolutely. So where do you see the organization in the next, say, 5 years?
Our big thing is honestly just growth in the Omaha community. So right now, just in terms of how our camps run, we're seasonal.
Okay.
So we had our summer camp last week and it went great. We'll do a fall camp in October. So the summer camp is during the week. Our fall and spring camps are Saturday or Sundays for a period of 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay.
So our fall camp, we actually run from mid-October until sometime in mid-November.
Okay.
We do a winter break camp. We are looking to do actually another winter camp this year, aside from the winter break camp. So it's seasonal camps. I think our big thing is just reaching more areas of town.
Yeah.
So right now, we've incorporated 8 high schools have had their athletes coach in our program. There's way more than 8 high schools in the Omaha Metro.
Oh,
Obviously we want to reach more of the high schools and then more of the communities that the high schools serve. So that's the biggest thing for us, is just continuing to grow, to both have more high school kids have that chance to be a leader and role model, and then have those, the younger kids, the pre-K to second graders, get a chance to come to camp and try different sports, have a ton of fun, and then get to, play with their high school coaches.
Yeah, I love that. So what does it look like to have a new coach sign up or a new little athlete sign up? What is that process?
So I'll start with the coaches. So for the high school athletes who coach, it's pretty seamless. So again, I mentioned before that for our high school athletes, they can come from any sport. I had said right now the sports that we incorporate are basketball, soccer, and volleyball. Those are the ones that kind of fit into our model of, we've been mostly indoors. So, in a gym, in a high school gym, for example, we can set it up where we have the obstacle course and we have those sports stations set up for the kids. Our high school athletes do not need to play any of those 3 sports. We've had cross country runners, we've had tennis players and golfers and football players and baseball players. So we've had athletes from all different sports. That's one piece to it, is it can be an athlete from any sport. In terms of them joining the program, it's pretty simple for us. Like, you have to be recommended by a coach or a teacher or a athletic director. So that piece, we always need a recommendation. We've never struggled to get that.
Do you find that they're like, hey, I heard about this program, will you recommend me? Or is it usually the teachers or staff?
So what's happened at this point is they hear about us. A lot of it's through their friends.
Gotcha.
So I would say that at this point, the majority of our new high school coaches, they have a friend who's done it and they've told them about it, and then they want to do it. And they've seen it, because we have our social media pages. So we have, I think the parents, our parents of our campers are more active on Facebook, I think. And they're still on Instagram too. I don't know. I'm not great with social media. But
we'll let it slide.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm getting better. But the high school athletes are they're on Instagram and they're on Twitter, a lot of them. So they see the posts, from camp and the fun. And so I think that they see their friends doing it and they want to do it.
Gotcha.
I will say this, the other part that's been really cool with the high school athletes is we've had athletes, like I mentioned, from, I believe it's 8 high schools at this point. We've had athletes come coach in the program who have played against each other for years, since they were little, and all the way into high school, and they've never been on the same team, so they just know each other through that competition. So it's been really cool to see kids who have grown up playing each other then get to come coach, and they get a chance to kind of to bond, which is cool. Like, so now,
together.
So we've seen that. It's been really neat to see that, where kids who have played against each other get to coach the program and get to know each other a little better. So that's been fun also.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So what about the littles? What's the process for getting your kindergarten to second grade?
So it's kindergarten, it's pre-K. So we actually have 3, 4, 5-year-olds. Yeah, because some 5-year-olds are still not in kindergarten. So it's pre-K. 3s is the youngest, and we've had a lot of 3-year-olds.
Wow.
I will say this: so the 3-year-olds are really young, and they are definitely new to sports. So for them, it's just getting the chance to try the different sports and learn to listen, like, because there are transitions from the different stations and activities. So for 3-year-olds, it's a little different, because they'll do a little bit more of very entry level games, just like kind of fun games like red light, green light for soccer. So they'll do like red light, green light. They'll do fun games. But then, you get maybe some older kids who are in second grade, and they'll do a little bit more advanced games for second graders versus 3-year-olds. But we are for our winter camp and our summer camp, we go up to 4th grade, so about 10.
Oh, okay.
So anywhere from 3 to 8 to 3 to 10 is generally our age group.
Okay.
And for signing up, it's pretty simple. It's very much just like any other camp. You go to our website and select your camp and just sign up. Yeah.
Wow.
The one thing I will say, and we're pretty intentional about this, is we never want the cost to be a barrier. Okay. So for any families, and we're pretty open about this, if any families ever need scholarships or financial aid, they just have to reach out and we make it work.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. That's great. So what would you say is maybe a challenge that you guys are facing in reaching the bigger part of Omaha?
I think it's just there's a lot of youth sports programs. There's just a lot of options. So, if you look around the area, you can do a number of programs, and they're all, and there's great programs. So we're an option that they can choose. I do think that we are unique in everything that we've talked about. The multi-sport aspect, I think, is unique in just allowing young kids to try different sports. And then probably the thing that really sets us apart, it's the high school athletes, right? Coaching the kids. I think that just that dynamic is very, I think, special, and we try to highlight it.
That's as you should.
Yeah,
it is special. So for anyone watching, what are some ways that they can help or get involved?
For the families of young kids, it's just, we're on social media. So it's Play It Forward NE is our social media handle across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our website is www.playitforwardne.org.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can even just Google Play It Forward Omaha, it will pop up. And so all of our information is always up there. So for families, if you're interested in trying out camp, it's, our next camp is our fall camp that's in October and November. We'll open up registration in early September. So about a month. Okay. We'll open up registration for that. So that's the biggest thing for us, is just continuing to reach families in the area.
Yeah. So just spreading the word, making sure everyone knows that you guys are a really good option to do stuff with. Okay.
Yep.
Easy enough. We can all do that.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to the end of time here, but I wanted to make sure that you have a chance to tell us anything that I didn't cover.
There was one piece we didn't cover. It's our sensory-friendly camps.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Tell us.
So we started running sensory-friendly camps. It's been it'll be 2 years in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be 2 years in the fall. I'll tell a quick story on how that all came about. I mentioned that there should be no barriers in terms of cost to our program. There should be no barriers in terms of ability, in terms of joining our program. And so we've had children of all abilities sign up for our general camps that we've been talking about.
Okay.
But our general camps, we're pretty intentionally chaotic with them. Just like we have like balloons, like all different colored balloons and beach balls for the volleyball station. We have music going that, kind of Kids Bop Kids is our go-to.
I love it.
So we have that, so it's pretty loud and chaotic. Like the obstacle course is very colorful and a lot going on there. And, so what happened a couple of years ago is we had a younger boy with autism try to camp, and it was in the fall, and it was just too much. There was a lot going on, and I completely understand it. So the mom reached out to me and asked if we consider doing a sensory-friendly camp. So, which I thought was a great idea.
Yeah.
So we did research. We worked with the Autism Action Partnership, so AAP, who's a huge organization here in Omaha, They helped us structure the sensory-friendly camps, and then they did training for us as well. So they helped structure the camps. They helped with training. I will say this honestly: there's not a huge difference in how we run the camps. The biggest difference is that we, the number of coaches to camper ratio, we have more coaches. So it's more hands-on. Okay. So if any child needs a one-to-one buddy, for example, we will supply a one-to-one buddy.
Okay.
So, and then a lot of it is just allowing the children with sensory sensitivities that, I think the autism is the one that I think most comes to mind for most people, but it's across the whole spectrum of sensory sensitivities we accommodate. And for us, it's just giving them that experience of playing and having fun, because in talking with families, there's not a ton of opportunities. Yeah. And so they have a ton of fun, and they do all of our activities. They play, we do basketball, soccer, volleyball, we do the obstacle course. So it's our general model of multi-sport with some slight tweaks to it. We do have a kind of a sensory like decompression area, kind of like a calm space. So we have like a calm space where they can go and just, they can just, if they need a break, they can go to the calm space with a tent and with some sensory tools and toys they can use just if they need to calm down for a little bit. But it's been awesome. We've done it for 2 years now. We recently started partnering with an organization called the Violet Hour Foundation. They provide services for children with autism. So we've run some camps with them. So we've gone even older. We've gone up to high school with them, and we're running another camp in September, partnering with them. We're running that at the JCC September 16th. So so that's the other piece is the sensory friendly camps have been really cool, really rewarding. I also think that is an awesome experience for our high school athletes.
Absolutely.
And they are so good they're great with all the kids, but they do a great job with our sensory friendly camps.
Good. Thank you for sharing that, because I would have been heartbroken if we would have missed that. I love that. Anything else you can think of that we should all know?
I think that's it. We spoke about, what, where we want to go. And like I mentioned, we do want to just continue to grow. So our biggest thing now, I think I mentioned to you, is that we just want to reach more families in the area.
Absolutely.
I think one thing that we had talked about, just to be clear, so people think that our high school athletes, it's volunteer, so they do get paid. Okay. So that's one for high school athletes out there across Omaha.
You can play and get paid?
So we wanted to make sure that they were rewarded for their time, because we know how busy high school athletes are. So, it's only, it's not a ton of money, but it's something. It's something that they can use to go to the movies or go grab a bite to eat with their friends. Yeah. So we want it to be a job for them, because I know, we know how busy they are. So at least give them a chance to work and get that reward, which is nice.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing it. We'll have them tagged, so make sure you go follow, share it, sign up for camp. If you're a high school student, what a fun job. And then we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.